Dr. Ojwang reminds me of this song, Bad to the Bone. Bad to the Bone.
Don't leave me alone.
Okay, anyway, so speaking of our president and him thinking that yeye ndio kusema, it goes against everything that our constitution advocates for. And it is very, very sad that we can get here, you know. We are simply headed the Tanzania way, the Uganda way. It's a very scary time for people who can comprehend what is going on. Presidential term limits are there to ensure no matter how bad a leadership is, it eventually comes to an end. But African leaders just don't understand what democracy actually means. They don't understand what leadership actually means. That's why our president akona hiyo gut ya kusimama na kuongea ni kama, you know, tuko kwa nyumba yake and we are offending him by just being there. And for me, it's the pretense, it's the hypocrisy that Mr. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta displays. The hypocrisy, it kills me. You know, someone said the best lie is the lie yenye ikona a sprinkle of some truth. If you weka kidogo truth in a lie, it's a very sweet lie, you know. Our president doesn't do that. Like Manzaya anatudanganya na amekauka macho. He's looking at you straight in the eye and lying to you, and knowing that he's lying, and knowing that you know he knows he's lying.
You know, I know you're lying.
You know, na anajua hakuna kitu mtadu, hakuna, I'll just go cry to mama and mama will make one phone call and y'all will be in trouble, like Mike Sonko.
What?
But then you see, akoka entitlement is what we need to strip him off, because he's not rightly entitled. This man has never struggled, he has never lacked, he does not know how to hustle. Hajui kufanya kazi. That's why his whole presidential term hakuna kazi amefanya, and then he wants to lie to us na websites Uhuru na kazi. Iko wapi hiyo kazi mse? Kazi umefanya peke yake ni kuongeza weight. Hakuna kazi ingine mimi naona umefanya. You know, legit, how is it that you've been president for 9 years and there's no tangible change? We have World Bank and IMF lying to us that our economy is growing. Yet ni watu wa diaspora wanatuma hizo do. Where is that economy growing from?
Growing for who?
It's growing for who?
Yeah.
It's growing in a few people's pockets and backyards. We don't see it. You are a hardworking Kenyan. Wewe unafanya kazi mia. I saw my mother working hard for the City Council of Nairobi for over 32 years of her life. Alafu siku moja tu mtu aliamka akapita KEMSA na akapata tenda ya 20 billion. My mother, who has worked hard, has never made that kind of money. Her pension is not even a quarter of that. Alafu mtu umeamka tu, you walked by some place and you get something. And then the president foolishly says on national TV, usione simba amenyeshewa ukafikiria ni paka. Then he beats his chest and tells us he is in charge. Now, what is President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in charge of? Corruption, disobedience to the rule of law. He is in charge of thieves. Mr. President, you are in charge of thieves, and you have the law on your side to help you deal with these thieves, but you've decided to act stupid and do nothing about it other than beat your chest and tell us that you are in charge. You're not in charge. If 2 billion is being stolen every day, Mr. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, you are not in charge of anything in this country. Nothing at all, other than thieves who you are protecting because you refuse to prosecute. So someone who hangs out with a thief is a what? Jijazie mwenyewe.
Ajijazie mwenyewe. Haya, basi raisi amesema ujijazie mwenyewe. Lucia amesema jijazie. But when he says in charge, I wonder what actually is in charge of. Anyway,
He's not in charge of
we
anything.
go back to diaspora. I think we had left out Robert Kobe. Robert Kobe, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
I'd like you to pick on the issues of there's something else, but the issue that Jubilee, the purge at Jubilee, kuna jamaa amepoteza kazi juzi anaitwa Kang'ata. Ndio na jana Taifa Leo lisema ni kosoyo ni kung'ate. And I mean, you wonder, the only crime that Kang'ata had was writing a letter to a president and telling him what the people are saying. If today Ojwang sends me to Eldoret and tells me I want to start a business there, nda kwanza kuuza njugu. Enda usikie watu wa Eldoret wanasemaje kuuza njugu. Ifika pale watu wanaambia sisi tunakunya maziwa, hatukuli njugu hata siku moja. Kama unataka kutusaidia utuletee mbegu nyingine ya mahindi. And I come and tell Ojwang, these are the people have said. At what point did that become a crime? What are your thoughts on the Jubilee purge?
I think even before I even get into that, I will try to remind Lucia that when she said that the president probably has not even gone to a management class, I was wondering which school of law somebody like Kalonzo Musyoka went, because law is all about ethics, and whatever Kalonzo was doing was just defiling ethics. So all these politicians are on the same angle. Yes. And I'll bring this into perspective, that all these political parties are people's houses. It is the same way, Bitok, if I come to your house, you will not allow me to get to your bedroom unless I have the permission. So our political parties are not ideological parties. They are parties that will go. Kibaki went with PNU. ODM will go with Raila. Jubilee probably with Uhuru. Whatever is being fronted right now will come and go. We have never had political parties that are ideology where you can go in and say something that you feel will ruffle the feathers of the leadership of the party, but at least they can sit down and listen and follow. The idea of how, Bitok, the bread is usually sweeter on the buttered side. Ukipendusha kwa crust, when ndio unaona unangangana naye. When Kang'ata alikuwa nangatua mtu, little did he know that, you don't spit on a moving wind. People who live in glass houses should not throw stones. The same person alikuwa nenda kungatua, ndiye alikuja kumpokea akingatuliwa. So it is the game. Oh yeah, it is the musical chair game. So this is a game. Ata matangi akiingia, atengeneze tu tangi yake. Juu hiyo tangi ikitoboka, itatolewa. So that is the game. Yeah, that is the game that has been there. And that is why we are crying like diasporians. We are saying that we have seen how things work this other side. The last time I was in this show, I said, these MCAs should not come for benchmarking. Watupatie hiyo kazi. Tutawaandikia hizo policy paper, tutawapatia pictures. Right now, hata tunaweza wafanyia video na Zoom. Waone how things are working. Because we are just wasting money left, right, and center. I am even afraid whoever is going to take after Uhuru will have the biggest problem. Probably he will be seen as the biggest liar. Why? Because you're inheriting a coffer that is empty. But you have promised the electorate a lot of things.
And you're actually inheriting a constitution that tells you to give 35% to counties. Where do you get the money?
That is the same
and the person who has given you that constitution never achieved a 15%. This person.
A 15%. Yeah. So you're supposed to come give 35 that is not there. And when you don't give them, then they will say, what? Unajua sasa, that's the biggest problem, because now in politics, if you come with a promise, you are nailed by it. And that is why people are branding people names, because of the promises that Jubilee made to their citizens. Their citizens are getting frustrated. When Obama was being elected to power, it was not all about that Obama was much better than any other president in America. People were just tired, and they felt like, let us give it a chance. That is why I usually have soft spot for somebody like Ekuru Okot. Maybe I would love Ekuru Okot akue president, so that it can give us a different kind of perspective of how politicians can be. Because, Sisi, unajua, my grandmother told me, when you want to kill a frog na majimoto, you don't boil the water first. Ukitupa ndani itatoka nje. Weka na maji baridi, so that wakati inachemka itakuwa ikiruka both sides, ikifikiria huku ndio baridi, huku ndio, na hivyo ndio itakufa. That is the biggest problem.
Like inaanza ikisikia utamu kwanza. Ikisema the water feels nice.
Inashangaa kwani imagine akaje. Anyway, with us Kenyans, it's all about what we are voting for. Tunatoka hapa, tunarukia hapa kwingine tukifikiria ni mzuri, tunarukia. Let us sit down and probably get a better way of analyzing what do we want, who can give us, how do we put them accountable of whatever they're giving us. Because our politics, ever since time immemorial, our politics has been 5 years, the last 2-3 months unamuaga pesa mtaani, unaelektiwa, potea, ongea matope, rudi. That's it.
Right. Asante sana. Tukirudi kwa Arama, I don't know if you want to pick up on the same conversation on the Jubilee page. Nimaliza na diaspora alafu nirudi hapa kwa panel. There is also mulikuwa maonana na Eric, CEO Maridadi. Eric is asking which state, acha nisome ujumbe directly. Anasema as Kenyans in diaspora, which state they would like us to visit and discuss with them ways they can invest better back at home. Arama, as we pick from there, tatuambia ni wapi ambapo tukikuja ama na biashara wa Kenya wakikuja pale diaspora, they can have a conversation with you on how to invest better back at home. Adiola Arama.
Anytime you come to US, my house is available for you.
Anauliza which state you are not coming to sleep bwana.
Alabama.
Hapo ndio kuna Wakenya wengi.
Hapana. Wakenya wengi wako Atlanta, ukienda Dallas, of course Minnesota, St. Paul, Wakenya ni wengi, DC, there's some Kenyans there. Ukienda Massachusetts, not Detroit. Why am I saying Detroit? I'm trying to remember the city in Massachusetts. Ukienda Washington, yeah, Maryland, Washington State, ukienda Seattle, there are many states that have a lot of Kenyans. It just depends. City. Yes, yeah, Kansas City.
Yes, yeah, Fort Victoria and Kansas, yeah.
So where would you want these entrepreneurs to come to if they are coming to have a discussion with Kenyans who would want to invest back at home?
I think the best thing will be to do like investment forum. So that you go to one specific city, we do the advertisement, and then people can come and attend the forum there.
All right, I think
that will be the easiest thing. Yes,
we will have a side chat then, the three of us with yes. all of us, the five of us with Eric yes. Mwangi, so that we can see if we can find the best way to work forward.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, hii mambo ya Kangata, I don't even, my sentiments will always still remain the same. Unfortunately for him, he was given an assignment, he didn't do it. He went to talk something else. Because you can't put your boss unamwandikia unasema Mr. King, you are naked in public. He's going to kick you out even if he's naked. Ulisikia wapi?
So when you see him naked, you tell him, "Don't worry, King. You're well dressed.
You have the best.
You have the best
exactly.
suit. Even if you sing is if apparatus is hanging."
Yes. So
unamwambia atoe shati. Akia ana longi ongeza
hata kama ana shati unamwambia atoe shati.
Hata wewe unatoka.
That's the unfortunate part. But like Robert said and people have said this, our parties are not parties. They are personal properties. When somebody comes and tells you the party leader has the authority to do whatever he wants and his instructions is what we follow. These people had opportunities to make changes that are going to help Kenyans when they were in office. They didn't. And I think, one of these days, maybe you may need to bring some of these guys to the tackle so that we can really tackle them, Tutaenda kufanya mazoezi ile tunaita hapa wanaita football. Ile mtu anakugonga kama rugby.
Mniambie ni nani mnataka? Mniambie ni kana nani mnataka ndawalete?
To be honest, just get one from each side. Bring them here because for us we want to challenge them and say you are making a lot of noise out there. What have you done in parliament? Give me one thing you have done that will so that I can say okay, whatever noise you are making you are justified. Because when you had an opportunity, you didn't do anything. Ukienda the other side, what your handshake, you were outside making a lot of noise criticizing the government, but now when you had an opportunity to make changes and influence the changes, you forgot. You have selective amnesia. Now, there's one pet peeve that I want to suggest, maybe kama BBI vile haifanye maneno, maybe we need to start our own. There's one word that I want us to get rid of from the president and the deputy. It is one word that says, His Excellence. These are human beings. They are not excellent in anything. And they will never be.
They're not honorable either.
Yeah, I mean, honorable. Now, one thing that I learned is they can be called honorable when they're in parliament. Once they're outside here, they are Mr. Period. We shouldn't call them honorable outside parliament. Once they are in parliament, yes, decorum dictates, we call them that. Just the same thing as a judge. When you go to court, you call him judge. Akiwa hapa nje, he's a Mr. or Mrs., just like anybody else, you know? Unless they have another title of a doctor or anything, then we can accord them that. But when you're not within your setting, we should not call you that. Maybe that might dismissify the office of the president, because unajua mtu akikuita His Excellence ni kama vile watu wanasemanga king, may you live forever. He's a human being, he can't live forever. He's going to die one day.
We actually sang for more and said, Baba, boy, Kenya. Adaima Milele, Tawala.
Which were great songs anyway, you know, we remember them. But for Kangata and Wamatangi and everybody else who has had the misfortune, the only person I can advise them to go and talk to who can help them to know how to meander the ways of sticking to the party, ni mzee anaitwa JJ Kamodho. They need to go and seek advice from that guy.
He's
that
gone,
guy
man.
Survived
He's
everything.
gone.
Yeah?
The guy is gone, man. He's gone.
Oh, he died. I'm sorry.
He left us, man.
I'm sorry.
He wanted.
Okay, they can learn, okay, let me put it this way. They can learn from what he did. That guy was, he sang every day. Baba ni wewe kutoka juzi na jana na kila siku. That's how you are put in a position as a leader. If you are going to make noise to the owner of the property, my friend, be ready to be kicked out. Wow. But at the same time, can you be a good leader? Because if today we had said Irungu Kangata was kicked out because he went to say, we are not accepting the 250,000 house allowance until you pay the doctors and the nurses, I can assure you, Kenyans will be on the street right now saying you need to reinstate Kangata back to his position as a majority whip. But because he did not say anything or support anything that will help a Kenyan in their desperate need, akitolewa tunasema, well, alikula yake, wacha atoke sasa, you know? That's the unfortunate thing is we need to start, and the only way we can get these people understand is to challenge them each and every day. One of the things that I remember the previous election, and something that really disturbed me a lot, is I was watching Larry Madowo. He was interviewing some of the people, and Senator Murkomen said something that was very disturbing to me. He's made that statement. He said, oh, politicians are the people who have sacrificed a lot. But the previous week, or a month before, there were soldiers who died in Somalia. Kenyans. Sasa wewe, what did you sacrifice as a politician to a Kenyan soldier who was in the desert? Na wengine uliona walipigwa picha, the death, they were wearing slippers. How can a soldier be wearing slippers in war? And then you tell me you sacrifice a lot than that guy? That's ridiculous. And that's where we lose it.
It's an insult, actually.
It's an insult.
Yes.
We lose our priorities because we forget who is people who are sacrificing. Our nurses, our doctors, lab technicians are sacrificing right now. The COVID virus that is killing people, millions. You don't pay them. Well, on top of that, add insult, you don't even pay them on time. Hata ile kidogo unawapatia, you don't pay them. And then, you know, you saw where they are coming out from the hospital at night. Police anawapata wamevaa uniform, you see they are from the hospital.
They clobber them.
You beat them and put them in jail. Ati wamekiuka nini ya curfew ya COVID. Really? These are people you're supposed to even escort them. Hao ndio watu sasa mnapatia ile escort ya polisi. You clear the road for them to go home so that they can go and sleep and come back to work. But you are beating them. We are losing our priorities, and to me it's very unfortunate that until we recognize the people who are actually making a difference in our country and we start championing those people, then we're in trouble. So I see Kip, and I know I'm gonna let me give him a chance to say something.
All right, Kip.
Yes, on the Kangata patch, right? I think we saw from time immemorial that President Uhuru Kenyatta is a dictator in the making. We saw that when he started warning the CJ, and actually he carried away or he at least fulfilled that threat, but not sending money to that part of government. Remember, we have 3 branches of government. And the problem with Kenyans are we somehow see the executive as if it's the only branch of government that has better say or that has more weight when it comes to leadership in the country. And so once the president is actually ignoring, or his government is not heeding to the calls that, were coming from the Department of Department of Judiciary, we have a problem. We saw that problem from the time in the beginning. Now, what happened to freedom of association? That's guaranteed in our constitution. What happened to expression and association? I think what happened with Jubilee Party Manifesto and Constitution, and let me remind them, they have a constitution that's 112 pages.
Yes.
Let me also remind them, they have 34 articles in that constitution. Disciplinary actions is also in that constitution. If they had followed that, then we would know that this is a government that follows the rules. But of course, if they cannot follow something that's coming from the judiciary, how then do we expect them to follow the rules of their own party? Now, I think from the school of thought that we shouldn't celebrate when Kangata is being Kangated. Yes, he was part of those who are doing the wrong thing. But, when you love those who have done the wrong thing, actually they tend to change. Hopefully he will change for good, and he will learn to defend the rights of every individual Kenyan. That's how we learn. The other problem is, you talked of something to do with the people and funding. The president was addressing people as if, and it's crowded. Not only the president, Raila Odinga is doing, William Ruto is doing it, any other politician is doing it. They're addressing people as if COVID-19 is gone. Those meetings are super spreaders. We also, we have police harassing people at night with the so-called curfew. You are arresting people as if COVID-19 in Atembea at night, catching on people. COVID-19 spread when people are within, small confined space. These campaigns are done within small confined space. A lot of people are no longer actually wearing masks. Some actually are shaking hands and hugging and doing all manner of things. I think our country should change, but more importantly, our people should actually take care of themselves. The problem is when you expect the government to take care of you, when you know for sure you'll be the one to suffer. In this country alone, right, where I live, there were only 2 cases of COVID-19, and the entire city was locked down. I was here for 14 days because I went shopping in one shop here. It happened that shop, whoever was serving in the shop had COVID-19, but I was locked in, and then you get money for food and to pay rent. Kenyan government, my friend, you will die, and nobody will come to that barrier. So it's so unfortunate.
No, they'll come for politics.
Before we talk, you take the mantle.
Yeah,
I just want to remind people that we are blaming the president for nothing. We don't have politicians who have ball. These politicians can bring that government down even today. If all those politicians, if all those MPs decide to resign today, if all those ministers decide to resign today, that president is going to be a lame duck. He's not going to do anything. The country will come to a standstill and things will be changed. But when we work with the people who are lukewarm, wanakaa kama mapanya, wanakula wakipuliza. They want to draw all these favors, na nini, alafu all of a sudden, they are crying on this other end. For them, their life is going on well. Their kids are eating very well. This common mwananchi is not getting anything. So let us not blame the president. The president came with a combat battalion. These people can decide to make a left turn when the president is making a right turn, and president peke yake hawezi fanya kazi yote, unaona. So the president has the audacity to be a dictator because he has people who are just eating with him there.
You've given him
They
the
can
space.
do nothing.
Okay. All right. So there's the issue. We come back here to the studio. The MCAs in Kisumu, Siaya, and Kisumu County Assemblies, where my good friend Ojwang comes from. These guys have gone ahead to approve the BBI bills in the assemblies. No public participation. No, I mean, there's nothing. They said we have brought it. Okay, we've said yes, and that is it. I wonder if these guys even read the document. I saw the other day Baba was in Nyanza for the BBI convention, and he was telling the Nyansarites that, guys, don't worry. There was a small mistake in printing. Don't buy the propaganda that there are no added constituencies in Nyanza in the BBI. Kulikuwa na makosa kidogo kwa printing, lakini ziko added constituencies, I think 5. Where is the place of the Mwananchi in all this discussion? The bills have gone ahead and it has been approved. Ojwang, what's your feeling on that?
You don't want my feeling, you want my thinking.
What's your opinion?
We don't feel, we think.
Okay, I got that on your feeling. Okay, give me your thinking and your opinion.
Yes. Of course, right now, the president and former prime minister, as Okwonko will put it, the people with the yam and the knife. You know, when you have the
there are 2 Okonkwas. You know, can Steve, there's no one Okonko or Tambula.
Anajua tu Okonko wa Tambula, si huyo Okonko wewe unaongelelea.
The real Okonko. The real Okonko.
The other ones might be a counterfeit. So somebody with the yam and a knife. When somebody has the yam and have the knife, then they're the ones who determine how much do I cut for Lucia here. Come on, Lucia, smile for me, then I add you another piece. How much do I give or deprive the talk? Because they are holding in their hands both the yam which you want to eat and the knife. And that is the inducement, that is the car grant, isn't it? Yeah. That is part of the yam and the knife. That is the counties that are raised to the bottom. I must be the first one. I must be the first one. It's a race to the bottom because I weep for our future. When I look at the BBI, even from economic perspective, it has tea and coffee, but nothing about fish. Our fish are still processed in Thika.
And actually, the most funny thing, just to interrupt you, Ojwang, was the Nyanza guys coming and saying, telling the central guys, this thing is about you.
It's for you.
It's not even for us.
I'm doing it.
What you're telling is, we are doing it for you. We are making this sacrifice for you.
With love.
Anyway, continue.
Lakini those people, when it's being done for them, si wamekataa. Ground imekataa.
Yeah, no, they're not buying it.
Continue your thoughts, Ojwang.
But unajua, saa zingine mgonjwa anaweza lasimishwa na dawa kidogo. Inaweza kuwa IV or there is force feeding. So imagine there is tea in that BBI. There is coffee in that BBI. There is no fees in that BBI. Meanwhile, we call each other a man from the lake. The lake has become a swimming pool. The fish stock is down. You have seen it on news.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking of restocking our lake again. So there's no fish. It is a mere swimming pool. Meanwhile, they can meet and say Jokanyanam, sons of the lake, without fish. Jokanyanam. We are people from the lake. The lake without.
Now they should say we are people from the swimming pool.
Right. From the deep end and shallow end. Because there's no fish anymore. So it is sad. It's an anticlimax. But again, I think BBI will pass. Somehow, I've seen this. I've watched this country enough to see that a lot of people don't care. If an MCA don't care, and this is the people representative, why would Wanjiku care? But that question can be asked the other way. Because the MCA don't care, that is why you should care as Wanjiku. But again, think about it as I conclude. Of course, President is showing a lot of hustle anxiety. Hustle anxiety are everything that people do because they are anxious about the hustler narrative. So he's showing a lot of hustle anxiety. You know, it started with the vocabulary. Then he was reminded, but the word juakali was actually a word that was describing people who are in informal work and working under a bad condition, and there was no problem then. So because we have diaspora, I like something going on in diaspora, which is people, because you see Bitok, why you call us here is not just to lament. Everybody can see problems. I think we should be more interested in solutions.
Yeah.
And that solution, to me, I look at the Robin Hood movement in the U.S. that is currently there. I don't know whether you guys are aware. Yeah. That the poor people looked at the stock market, the Wall Street, and looked at that stock which was almost becoming the business that was getting bankrupt, the lowest ranked stock, and they moved and bought them. And all the rich people are very mad now because in their speculation and their investment, they had invested in the high-ranking stocks. But the poor moved and bought together the very low-ranked stock, made it the highest selling. Before the rich know it, it is now very expensive. They can sell it for a lot of money. They are keeping it. And the rich are now saying the rule is rigged. This is not how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be rich and be richer and richer. Because you see, these rich people don't do anything. You just take money and move them between stocks. Yeah. How hard is that? And so you have a financial director, you have a broker who tells you now this is the way to go, take your stock from here, buy here, and boy, were they wrong. Because the people, the Wanjikus there, the Macmillan, the poor, read the whatever, and there was an app in the stock market where you can easily download and buy any amount of stock. They came together. So now they are wondering, should we call it insider trading? But these are not insider, these are outsiders. Mm-hmm. Should we say it is illegal? But it's not illegal for people who are whatever to say, let us all go and buy stock in this lowest one. That is revolution. I mean, it gives me a lot of hope that we need to be innovative and stop just being bitter. We have articulated our problems long enough. We have been in storm long enough. We need to innovate just like that movement. And when you know Robin Hood, they call themselves. Robin Hood is a mythical feature in Britain that lived in a time like we live in Kenya today. Robin Hood was a person who looked at the judicial, legal, and any system in the Britain which had collapsed. The rich were getting richer, the poor
were getting poor.
Yes. So you know what Robin Hood did? Robin Hood started robbing the rich. And giving it...
He lived up to his name, Robin. Robin started robbing.
Yes, and giving it to the poor. He doesn't take it because he realized the rich go to court, there's no action, they keep their wealth, slap on the wrist, bad boy, don't steal like this. And so he said, forget this. I am going to be a system by myself. So he will waylay the rich, he will take their wealth, not to his house, to the poor, and say, here is what they have stolen from you. So this Robin Hood movement, I saw how the world stood in Floyd killing. The world, I mean, this small Uhuru problem, I don't know, hustler problem here and there, the impunity, the kind of whatever. If politicians are the problem, they cannot be our solutions.
Sure.
I like people like Ichungwa, but if the politicians are the problem, they cannot turn to be what? You cannot be the disease and the medicine at the same time. The politicians will never be
Your
solutions to this country. Who is the solution? You dare ask? You are looking at one.
Ojwang. I think I like the Robin Hood movement. That is real devolution. I think that's real
From
devolution.
bottom.
That is
The two
devolution.
worlds,
That
it
is
looks
real
like
devolution.
It is actually trending right now. Biden, as conservative, as pro-poor as he was, they are now looking at Congress and how to fix. First, they remove all those up. Now you have to go to Wall Street and to buy the stock. It's not easy to buy. But they're saying, what is illegal here? But they changed the rules of the game. They studied the game and said, no, you ain't. This is not how you are going to proceed. You are not going to be robbing us back and forth, moving your money between stock. They went for the lowest, which was almost zero. And they took their small welfare money, they took their small stimulus money that they were given to survive, and they say instead of buying shoes, instead of buying, going to saloon, that is what most of the minority do, and spending $300 in an Asian Air, we are going to buy stocks in this lowest stock. People bought $200, $300, $1,000. Those stocks, after fortnight, of course, you know what? They lie to us, the force of the market, isn't it? Buyer, seller, and the market forces. Now when a lot of money is trooped to the small market, to the small stock and the useless stock actually, these people were already bankrupt. It skyrocketed, they took the business, and now they are running Wall Street. There is hope. So we need to, but our problem is we think politics, we sleep politics, and we continue expecting the politicians, asking them, when are you going to come for me? It is high time we know that you have you.
Only you.
And that's all what you need. You got you. Yeah. If I have me, I don't need system. I'm bad enough. Don't get me started. I have me.
I got me. Bad boy. Anyway, Lucia.
Boy.
So these guys are making it a threat. They are making a threat real that we are going to give you this BBI thing like, like quinine drug, like malaria drug. They're making it real. And the counties are, they are head over heels trying to be the first ones. They're competing to be the first ones to pass the BBI report. Started from Nyanza region. We've never seen any public participation happening because I believe the constitution belongs to the people. It's our document. It's not the document of the political class. It doesn't belong to the MCAs. I mean, there's nothing that gives them the mandate to decide for us what is good for us. I mean, Ojwang said I should not ask for feelings, so I will ask for your opinions and your thoughts.
You see,
maybe I should have asked for your feelings. Anyway, all right, proceed.
I think I'll give you both.
Okay.
The fact that it has taken a car grant in order for this BBI to be passed just shows you there's nothing good for us there. Because if it was really pro-people, it wouldn't be forced down our throats. Actually, if it was pro-people, it would have come from us as a popular initiative. It's not a popular initiative. I am actually so exhausted. I think the BBI narrative is a very exhausted narrative. It's a useless document. It's a plagiarized constitution. It does not have a place in this country. It does not have a function in this country. There's no point in us talking about it. And I believe Kenyans are really woke to this thing. They are really woke to the BBI. Because first and foremost, hakuna mtu ametupatia economic blueprint of how that is going to happen. And then those of us who really have problems, unanipea 7-year tax holiday when I cannot even register the business itself. So how are you helping me? And then someone who's on payroll gets a car grant. Kwa sababu akipanda matatu atakufa. It's just, it beats me. It beats me. And I see learned people like James Orengo and Otiende Amol. And I'm just, no, my people. Like, it shouldn't be like that. I really don't know whether the leadership understands that we are seeing behind the lie. I don't know if they understand that. Because as much as they're trying to force their way, imekataa, like gag reflex imekataa tu kumeza hiyo malaria queen manze. We are just throwing it back. And trust you me, if they force us to a referendum, that no is going to be so loud and it's going to be so disgusting on them, worse than mlevi kukutapikia. Because we are going to throw that pill back up. Tutaitapika. Tutaitapika vizuri sana.
Sijatapikiwa na mlevi bado, so sijui. Watu wa diaspora, where is the position of the mwananchi? Amen. The county assemblies are, you know, they are breaking their legs trying to be the first ones to please the proprietors, because it's a business, the proprietors of BBI.